Good day, everybody. We are talking about PowerPoint presentations. PowerPoints have been around for quite some time, years in fact, and for most people, they enjoy a PowerPoint presentation. Some, however, do not. They find it can be confusing, contracting, can deviate from the message. And if the person isn't skilled giving a PowerPoint presentation, they may not be able to capture the interest of the audience. The end result is you may not be able to completely and comprehensively convey the message that you're trying to convey to your audience. You could lose your audience. They may not understand your message. It is true that it is a different way in which to communicate, but one in which we understand that more and more of our world, business and otherwise, is moving towards. What does that mean? We used to communicate largely by the written word. Now we know today that most communication is, yes, by text message. And so we're moving much more to the shorter words, to the shorter sentences, to giving us just a piece of the puzzle to people, and hopefully they understand the rest of it. Emojis are becoming much more popular than a thesis statement or a well-written paragraph. It's neither good or bad, it's just different. We have to master these new technologies if we're going to be a communication medium in the future. So PowerPoint is just one of the ways in which we can communicate. Very consistent to Snapchat, Pinterest, even Facebook. Very short messages, graphically represented, trying to capture the interest of your audience, mainly because people don't read as much. In fact, the Pew Institute just indicated that about 20 to 25% of adults last year never opened up a book. Not just read a book, but never even opened up a book online or the hard copy. So reading's becoming less of an issue, but this aspect, text messages and conveying using graphics, is becoming much more of a way in which we communicate. So let's talk specifically about PowerPoint and how we can get our point across with PowerPoint. Well, first of all, we're not conveying all the information in PowerPoint, and that's probably the most important aspect in addition to the graphical nature of it. But the most important part about PowerPoint is we are conveying an outline to somebody. PowerPoints are not in and of themselves intended to stand alone. We don't create a standalone presentation necessarily and expect that all the information is conveyed in that PowerPoint. Instead, it's used as a guide, something that allows us to walk our audience through our topic. It's very much an outline that we present to somebody, and it is meant to be in coordination or conjunction with somebody actually talking. And so it allows a guide to follow their logic, and it allows the audience to follow the logic of a guide as well. So that's the first aspect that we want to make sure that we understand about PowerPoints. And the second is it's graphical. So it's less important for the words and more important with how the words are conveyed. That's really such a key to what we're trying to convey today, which is that it's the graphical fun nature of PowerPoints that we need to get across. It's a very different way to communicate. Some people think it's easier. It can actually be even more difficult, but because you still have to get your message across, but you have to get it across in a different manner. So let's talk about actually creating an effective PowerPoint presentation. It starts with the overall look. Looks are so important. They're dramatically more important in PowerPoints. So we're talking about the color of the slides. We're talking about the manner in which you create your videos that you may include, or even the pictures that you include. Color is increasingly important. Contrasting colors work very well here. The blues and reds, the black and whites, the black and yellows. It makes the word and the information that you include in a PowerPoint pop off your slide. It becomes increasingly important that we have this dazzling nature when people open up a presentation in PowerPoint or when they start to present it. So that's the first aspect. Second is structure. You should start and end with the slide that is an agenda at the beginning and a conclusion at the end. It should state and restate what the central point of your presentation is. You should not leave a PowerPoint presentation without somebody clearly understanding the intent of that presentation. In fact, the idea or the suggestion that I give to others is give somebody your PowerPoint presentation. Tell them what they learned from that PowerPoint presentation. Then, if that's the message that you intended to get across, you've been a success. If it's not, then you need to rewrite your PowerPoint presentation. So, we've talked about the overall look of a presentation, and it has to dazzle, which includes color and videos and pictures. The second aspect is structure. You've got to have an agenda slide, and you have to have a conclusion slide that clearly details what the PowerPoint presentation is about. Third, and this is so important, is the type of information that you include on a slide. There's something called the 4x10 rule. Some people say 5x12 or 6x13. And what it really means is how many bullets you have per slide and how many words per bullet. Mine is 4x10. I try not to have more than 4 bullets on a slide. Most people can't remember more than 4. So whenever I have a list of the greatest or most or least, I usually try to keep it between 4 and 6. Any more and people can't remember it. There's also the instance of diminishing returns. The more bullets you have, the less important each are. It's the same within your resume. If you have bullets of accomplishments after your job and you have more bullets, usually people only read the first couple. Again, diminishing returns. So the third rule is to make sure that you have few bullets and few words per bullet. One note of importance and why this is an area that is critical for the success of a PowerPoint presentation, and that is, if you're given a presentation and you have a lot of words on your slide, people are going to read the slide. They're not going to pay attention to the presenter. That's the furthest thing that you want. The whole intent of a PowerPoint presentation is to ensure that you capture the interest of your audience and that your PowerPoint presentation facilitates the presentation of that message. Anything that detracts from that message, anything that requires or elicits a person watching that presentation to move from you to the message is going to detract. Think of it this way. If there's words on a page, people are going to read the words. There's very little that's emphatic about that, exciting. It's just standard reading. But if you as a presenter can make those words pop off the page by the way that you present that information, it's going to be much more inviting to an audience to pay attention to you. You have a greater chance of being successful in presenting that message to your audience. So that's what we look for in a presentation. We look for color and we look for dazzling graphics. We look for a structure that facilitates the presentation of the information. And of course, we also look so that in a way that the message can be conveyed. We hope that the presenter is captivating, somebody who's charismatic, just by virtue of standing in front of a crowd or standing in front of a class is going to garner the respect and attention so that when they deliver their message, it's a message that's going to resonate with whoever their audience may be. Best of luck on your PowerPoint presentation. Certainly let me know if you have any questions as you present it, and I look forward to seeing the best and the brightest PowerPoint presentations you've ever given. Everybody enjoy the day.